Welcome back to Study Prep Guys Chill Zone, everyone. It is nice to be back with you for this video. Today we'll be working Csec May June Office Administration for the year May June. We'll be answering as many questions as we possibly can, but I will make a compilation video on all the answers for these questions. So without further ado, let's actually start in the documents. So let's take a look at the instruction before we start. So it says this paper consists of 6 questions, 3 in section 1 and 3 in section II. Answer all questions, write your answers in the space provided in the booklet. So we have to answer all these questions. You have to answer all of the questions. So let's see. We're trying to answer question 1 to 2 today. We'll not answer everything on this video, but let's see what's going on here, guys. So it says in offices, electronic communication is the most widely, let me just highlight that. It's the most widely used channel to discriminate information. And to discriminate information means to destroy it. So discriminate comes from the adjectives destroy. So this means to destroy. So when we hear the term discriminate, we come up with the idea of destruction. So this is only worth 2 marks. State 2 benefits of using electronic communication in an organization. So first of all, um, foster efficiency. Efficiency compared to other channels of communication. Such as we have different channel of communication, like for example, telecommunication and oral communication. So the one of the major advantages um, of utilizing this type of communicational branch, electronic communication, is that the efficiency is uncomparable to other branches of communication. So that's one of the major advantages of using the telecommunication or electronic communication. It's more effective and it creates an atmosphere of coherence. So it creates an atmosphere of coherence, um, or cohesion. Is these two terms are basically the same thing: coherence and cohesion. So coherence basically meaning that you within the business setting, you you're communicating with different social media applications such as WhatsApp. You create different WhatsApp groups, and when you create WhatsApp groups, you have accessibility to the information more faster, more efficiently, and more effective. So the communicational branch is generally more easier. So first of all, faster efficiency, it creates an atmosphere of coherence, of cohesion. Another thing that it does is it increases work productivity. Work productivity. And why does it increase work productivity? Due to access, due to cohesion. So since due to cohesion, everyone knows what's going on in the business setting, you are able to work more effectively and more efficiently. So that's for that. Outline the importance of each of the following factors when selecting a channel of communication: degree of urgency. Um, this is significantly important in choosing a select branch, depending. So with this one here, so why is the degree of urgency important? To make it simplistic for you to understand as an audience, it is important because selecting the branch of communication, it depends on the emergency setting. For example, if you're within a business setting, if you want to make sure everyone within the business wants to get this information within like a day or within a couple of minutes, the best course of action in that case would be, for example, in most cases, electronic communication, because it is fast. It is very fast in comparison to like a letter, in comparison to oral communication. So this is important for information security, i.e., hacking. So this is important for several reasons. For example, security. In cases of your information being hacked, and when your information is hacked, like for example, someone gets into your business accounts and actually gets into that mail system or that telecommunicational system, or within your, for example, if the most dangerous situation arises when somebody gets into your bank account, and if they have the password to your bank account through hacking, they could actually secure your funds, your money within the business, and that could lead the business to becoming bankrupt. So this is important for information security. Level of confidentiality is important for information security. Um, so this here and question one is relatively similar, or back to here with degree of urgency. Both of these here ties into each other. These are particularly important because in selecting the branch of communication, and this here, audience size and degree of audience are extremely similar. So first of all, for the audience size, you need if it is particularly important because it helps us in determining what branch of communication we are utilizing. For example, depending on the audience size, or for example, if you want to get to a global audience across the world, um, or electronic communication is preferred. And for example, the same thing with degree of urgency, depending on how fast you need to actually share this information, you will have to utilize a different channel or a different branch of communication. So that's for that. So I don't believe this is very difficult. This is not difficult. So this is the information that was given under this selection here. So it says here, as the clerk in the mailroom, you're required to use the franking machine or the to affix postage on all outgoing mail. So the following information represents activity for week one. So it has $300 was added to the franking machine, right? $300. Five manuscript, 0.25 each. 450 from letters, 0.5 each. So I'll come back to this question. This is not a complete question, guys, but I have to come back to this question here. Let's move on to the more practical questions, and we come back to that later. So we'll answer this final question here, and we'll close up the video. So hopefully you're enjoying, guys. So at a recent department meeting, the filing clerk recommended the need for the disposal of dead files and the archiving of important inactive files. State the difference between archiving and disposing of files. So there's another term for archiving. Archiving files or progress files. So another term for the archiving files is the progress files. What do I mean by the progress files? The progress files are simply those documents that you know are still in progress. They're still working on them. Um, on the other hand, disposing files is the total dissemination of documents, or what we consider to be, i.e., destroying the documents. I just put DOC for now, entirely. So dissemination of documents, meaning that you're totally destroying the documents, right? You're totally annihilating it. So archiving files, another thing that you have probably learned from this video is that archiving means that the documents are in progress. They're still working on them. They're still actually working all that. Let's move on to II. So it says here, state two factors that the filing clerk should consider when determining the period for record retention. State two factors, let me just highlight that so you guys could break this question down. State two factors that filing clerk should consider when determining the period for recording retention. And record retention means at the end of a month and end of a week and what's not. So what are two factors that the filing clerk should consider when determining the period for record retention? So first of all, the first thing they should really take into account is um, debts to be paid, i.e., is anyone owing? Anyone owing the business? So that's one of the factors that they should consider. Another thing that they should consider is bad debts and stock inventory. So this is three of the things that you should consider. So whenever you're making or when you're doing a documentation or a documental process, whenever you're doing a documental process, um, you need to consider the debts to be paid because you can't really include accounts that really are not even paid for or not in full summation. But debts are those things that you have to write off the account that, for example, if someone is owing you and they have gone bankrupt, if someone is owing you, or if somebody cannot even pay you off, you have to write that off as a bad debt. And also, the third or most important thing I like to consider is the stock inventory. The stock inventory is the amount of goods that you have within the business. So something that a filing clerk should consider is that do we need to restock on that? Let me just put that right there. Do we need to restock on goods? So there's something that they also need to take into consideration. So this is not hard here for this one at least. List three characteristics of an effective records management system. List three characteristics of an effective records management system. Um, Determination of profits to loss ratio. Um, Restocking efficiency. So these are some of the characteristics of an effective records management system. So these are some of the things or some of the characteristics of an effective records management system. Um, so determination of profits and loss ratio. If they could determine the profits and loss ratio effectively, that is a good characteristics, or it's a very effective characteristic, or one of the characteristics of an effective records management system. Restocking efficiency. Can they restock on time, and can they actually make sure that they have enough goods and services to sell at a certain period of time? Proper inventory management. Are they properly managing the inventory to make sure that we're not running out of goods and we're low on goods? Effective management of debts, making sure that the debts are paid and keeping accurate accounts of the debtor's account and stuff like that. There are some of the characteristics of an effective record management system. So we'll take a close at right here. Subscribe, guys, if you enjoy videos like this. I will make another video on this, so subscribe for that upcoming video.
Watch my knife and let me just go bang. Watch my knife and let me just go bang. Player haters, masturbators, bitches all up in my shit. Living scared, you know you did. Walking around with a cripple leg, that bitch boy tried to take my shit.